welcome back. I wanted to take just a second to talk about a experience that I had recently with having my beloved Omega Seamaster serviced, actually, and I thought it was worthwhile to mention it. Obligatory wrist check, of course. Christopher Ward, Trident Pro 600, OG right there. So this is my beloved Omega Seamaster called the James Bond. It's reference 2221.80.00, and I've had this watch since 2010. It was a gift from my beautiful wife. And let me just tell you, when I say I had it serviced, I took it into BC Clark, left it with them for a while. Of course, they handled shipping and everything, sent it off to Omega, where Omega completely renovated this watch. This watch is well over 15 years old at this point, actually right at 15 years old. If you can see, they polished the bracelet beautifully. This watch is no safe queen. I have worn this watch all over the world. Well, as far as I'm concerned, all over the world. I've actually taken it snorkeling multiple times, even scuba diving. I have used the little expansion slot here to wrap it over neoprene when I've been diving. Nothing too deep, of course, but it has kept on ticking the entire time. Beautiful. The craftsmanship, the comfort of that bracelet is, of course, I read online, some people love it, some people hate it. I am a huge fan of that bracelet. This was, of course, inspired by James Bond, why they call it the 007. In the 90s, I remember watching Pierce Brosnan, who played Bond at the time, use this in his little laser output from the pip right there, and I was hooked. I'm a huge James Bond fan. My wife surprised me with it way back in 2010. 20 millimeter lugs, which honestly look larger than that. This is a 41 millimeter model. Very thin dimensions. I'd have to imagine it's under 12 millimeters, but it doesn't have it on the website, but it's very thin. As a matter of fact, I said recently in a review of this that it spoiled me for other watches. Watches that are thicker tend to stand out, unless it's a Panerai. Panerai just fits being thicker. I am very impressed. So what you get when you take your watch in for service and they send it off to Omega, Omega reviews it and sees whether or not it's keeping time in accordance with their standards, and well, they go to replace parts and they send back the old parts. This has a new gasket, of course, new set of hands. You can see the old ones here, all new crowns, and this little spring bar that holds the bezel in place, they replaced that. So essentially we get a brand new feeling of the bezel. Got rid of all the grit, grime. Oh, it's like a brand new watch all over again. And they replaced the movement inside. This has a quartz movement, of course. It's the Omega 1538 battery powered, of course, because Pierce Brosnan used this with the little laser. It had to have a battery in it. I tell you what, I love this watch. You can pick them up on the secondary market. They still have held their value. As a matter of fact, it's worth more now than when it was new way back in 2010, but talk about a workhorse. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking, even though that's a Timex moniker. Gotta love the Omega. Thanks for watching.